Quite yet.
First, you need to unmute your mic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Let's proceed with roll call.
That's me. Angel Ortiz.
Present.
Angela Elliott Santos.
Present.
Austin Jones. Bill Gore. Kara Desert.
Present.
Daphne Watson.
Present.
Eleanor Evans. Elena Perez. Ellen Nash.
Present.
Enrique Morones.
Present.
Estela de los Rios.
Present.
George Corey.
Present.
Gina Roberts.
Present, ma'am.
Griselda Ramirez. Gwen Sanders.
Present.
Kate Chasen.
Present.
Kate Clark. Kenya Taylor.
Present.
Maya Alfonso. Nicole Murray Ramirez. Norma Chavez Peterson. Pedro Anaya.
Here.
Rashid Essa.
Present.
Ryan Garcia.
Present.
Samuel Troy. Samuel Troy. Shane Harris. Shane Harris. Summer Steffen.
Present.
Taha Hassan.
Present.
Tammy Gillies. Tammy Gillies. Vince Catula.
Present.
And Warsan Arton. Warsan Arton. Madam Chair, that completes roll call.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have public comment today?
There's no public comment.
No public comment.
No public comment has been received. No.
Chair, may I make a statement?
Sure.
I just wanted to call out the historic election and the voter turnout in San Diego County. As the Human Relations Commission, I think we can all be proud when people in our region make their voices heard. We are on track to have the highest turnout of any election, and I just wanted to congratulate this group of leaders, many of whom I know worked very hard on this election to make this so we can be proud of our region, and I hope we surpass our 2008 number for the most voter turnout. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Can we proceed with the update on the consultant status to assist the commission in developing the mission statement for the Office of Equity and Racial Justice? Claudia?
Yes, that will be Andrew Strong providing you with that update.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good morning, commissioners. So we are in the final stages of finalizing the contract for the consultant. We should have a contract signed by the end of this week, and we'll be able to release more information about the consultant hopefully early next week. And we plan to have the consultant attend the meeting on the 24th. So that's the quick update on the consultant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, great. We'll proceed to item 5, proposed final bylaws.
The Commission adopted interim bylaws at its July 14th, 2020 meeting. The Commission created a bylaws subcommittee of 7 members to review the bylaws and propose final bylaws to the Commission for consideration and approval. We had 7 subcommittee members who met 2 times on October 30th and November 5th. The subcommittee voted to bring forward these proposed final bylaws for the Commission's consideration, as well as changes to the rules of order, which are incorporated by reference into the bylaws. The following slides are from the proposed final bylaws sent to the Commission as part of its agenda packet. Commission member Roberts, who was on the subcommittee, will be discussing the changes the subcommittee has drafted as we go through to highlight these.
Okay, I guess it's my turn to talk. Hi, everybody. So first of all, I wanted to thank everybody on the subcommittee. They worked together really well and tried to come together with a reasonable consensus of how to proceed with this commission. Most of the early changes, I'm basically, this particular page is just bringing everything up to date with the current terminology and eliminating things like waiting for the full commission and things like that. So nothing really substantive on that page. Can you advance it, please? Hello, Claudia. Or whoever has the advancing, there we go. Perfect. So this was, membership and term of office was probably the area we talked the most about. Item 4, section D, item 4 is basically just massaging the language. It really made no change. We did wanted to define a difference between excused and unexcused absences, because we all as a subcommittee felt that participation in this commission is a true honor, and it's a privilege that we take and need to take very seriously. So we wanted to emphasize the importance of attendance at our commission meetings, and but also give people the opportunity of, oh, well, I have to travel today. If I warn the commission, you know, in advance, so I'm going to be gone for for the next meeting within 24 hours, it's an accused absent. Because we wanted to make sure that the original interim bylaws said that we don't want to miss more than 1/3 of our regularly scheduled meetings in any 12 months. So if right now we're meeting every 2 times a month because we had so much to get done before the end of the year. Possibly if we decide as a commission that we don't need to meet more than once a month next year, that would be like 4 absences in a year. Right now it's 8 absences in the year. So we felt that that was a pretty strong, I'm just going to say this, kind of a low bar to meet. I mean, if you sign up for this and you can't make the 2/3 of the meetings in a year, we kind of we're concerned whether or not your priorities were correct. But so anyways, so with the 1 absence, 1 unexcused absence, basically on a 1 month, on a 1 meeting a month schedule, you could miss 5 meetings in a year. Felt that was pretty reasonable. If a vacancy occurs because of unexcused absences, then the incumbent member, the person who is basically being put on notice that they're no longer on the commission, and the appointing supervisor or the nominating supervisor, and or the organization that shall be notified by the chair. And then we'll go through the nominating the same way that the nominating are handled in section A, which is up there. Now, we also wanted to put in a provision, like let's say one of our members said that they often have to travel overseas for, you know, months at a time. And if it's anticipated and we are meeting locally, meeting, you know, in person, there might be difficulty with that. We also discussed that we also wanted to kind of keep a hybrid structure, even if we go to in-person meetings, so that people can zoom in from wherever they are in the world. But we wanted to give people the opportunity that if they know they're going to miss something, they're committed to the commission, they wanted to make sure that they kept their spot, to petition the chair and the vice chair for a leave of absence, just so that they can, basically it's more excused absences. Can you proceed to the next one? We also wanted to give the opportunity, since we elected the district attorney and the sheriff of San Diego County to do duties above and beyond just this commission, we also wanted to give them the opportunity to designate a person that could step into their position to vote on a particular issue, to present on a particularly a subject of expert witness kind of thing. Or if the, like to say, the district attorney needs to go to court, and she can have designate somebody to fill her stead, as long as it happens within 24 hours. So next section, please. Now, we'll talk about duties and responsibilities. I just asked, the duties and responsibilities will be inserted right here, but that's actually a separate discussion, which we will have right after this. Next page, please. Lots of blue on this thing, but it's really kind of a neat, easy process. We talked about a way to equitably and fairly elect officers. So basically, just in summary, we want to go through and at a meeting before our officer, sometime in March, we hope, because for people that have to be renominated after terms expire in January, that would give us February to get them seated. And then so in March, we want to hold our annual election of officers. And so we'd ask we'd basically, in public forum, we'd ask each commission member if they're interested in serving as the chair or vice chair, why they'd like to do that, and hold them to the 3-minute discussion. 10 days prior to that, the county staff will distribute to the commission members a list of all the people that are interested. And then within 7 days prior to a commission meeting, what we'll do is the county staff will collect a list where each commission member will recommend 2 members to be the chair or the vice chair, and they can designate them if they want. But it would give people an opportunity to research the commission members, to reach out to them, find out if their values align, whatever it is, so that we can have those discussions. And then 5 days prior to that, there would be a compilation of how many, who selected whom how many times, that kind of thing. Kind of like we did for the selecting the committee nominated commission members. And then at the selection meeting, the information will be summarized, and we'll make motions, commission members will make motions to select a chair or vice chair from the list. The hope for this is it would become less of a free-for-all and give people the opportunity to consider the chair and the vice chair in advance, so that you have the opportunity to do a little research. It's difficult because we're also assuming a little bit that we may have a difficulty doing in-person meetings still by March, and we wanted to provide a good background and process for doing that. Can you advance it, please? Now, one thing that we did say is there was no provisions in there to, hang on, a little background. We entrust our chair and our vice chair with the honor and privilege of speaking for the commission. And should something happen where we lose confidence in the vice chair or the chair, we wanted to put together a process for removal or reconsideration of those positions. And so it takes at least 5 members to petition the commission to consider the removal of a chair or vice chair, and then to actually make that occur, 2/3 of the members need to vote to make that happen. And if the office of chair is vacated, then the vice chair would become the chair, and the new chair will, temporarily, kind of the classic appoint background. And same thing, if the vice chair becomes empty, then the chair would appoint a person to be considered. So, oh, and then we actually assigned in section E. I'm missing section D here. Maybe a comment from whoever compiled this will remind me where D went. But we have defined the county staff will be kind of the permanent recording secretary for the commission. That way to ensure continuity and just give them something else to do, just so they don't get bored. Could somebody speak up and tell me what happened to section D?
Yeah, thank you. Section D, there was only a typographical correction on that where we went from chairperson to chair. There was no substantive change. Therefore, it wasn't included.
I knew it was something simple. I just didn't have that in front of me. So could you advance the page, please?
Yes.
All right. So subcommittees. One thing that we, having served on both subcommittees, I found we had a couple of issues. One was trying to schedule enough time together so that we could hold a meeting with a quorum. So we wanted to define the difference between a long-term subcommittee and an ad hoc subcommittee so that we could, for instance, we had one meeting, we lost a quorum, we had to close the meeting down. So it just cut down the opportunity for us to have some early discussion. Fortunately, we came back together very quickly on the second meeting and were able to solve all the issues that we had. So anyways, this just puts numbers on it, no more than 7 members, because scheduling becomes a real issue. Section B is struck and replaced by everything shall be open to the public and all persons shall be permitted to attend. Standing meetings are all subject to the Brown Act. Ad hoc committees, those established for a single purpose, like bylaws or duties and responsibility, shall require at least 24 hours notice. So that way it's a little easier to schedule. We don't have to have the 72-hour public notice. And advance it. And we are actually, right now we are governed by Roberts' Rules of Order. And excuse me while I reach down. Having read Rosenberg's Rules of Order, for our environment, it's a little bit more compact of a model. I would recommend that everybody read it, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just a little more compacted, not quite so, there's not quite so many procedural issues to go through. So anyways, we've suggested that those be governed by Rosenberg's Rule of Order. And then she's going to put up the next page, but I'll talk about that in a second, the revised rules of order for the committee. We, again, affirm that people need to attend the meeting to vote. We do not want to have proxy voting or absentee voting. However, the district attorney or sheriff, as we spoke of earlier, can designate a representative to vote for them. And also it works to establish a quorum. And for the commission work, a majority of the members currently appointed shall constitute a quorum and carry a motion by a majority vote. For committee work, a majority of the members, anyways, I'll just let you read that. I'm really bad at reading out loud. So go to the rules of order page. So rules of order, we just changed a couple things. One thing we wanted to do is we have some members, including myself, that like to babble on for more than 3 minutes. And if it becomes a problem, we wanted to give the chair the opportunity to mute those commissioners. Warn them and then say, hey, I'm going to mute you. We need to move on. We need to keep these meetings compact and moving so that we can do our work. Keep discussion. So, and then because of the Zoom format and the difficulty with the recording of the minutes and things by the county staff, they really nicely, politely asked if when we make a motion, we say, I, Commission Member Roberts, move to adopt a staff recommendation or whatever it is, as an example. Just so, and then as another example, as I, Commissioner Roberts, motion to accept that or to second that motion, just so it makes it easier for them to record, so they don't have to go back and go, okay, who made the motion, who did the second, and then the other one we left intact is the chair shall adjourn the meeting promptly at the designated stop time, and anything that's residual will move on to the next meeting. We are hooking people up for 2 hours at a time. Let's be respectful of their time and their opportunities. And the next page, yay! So my request and my motion would be for my motion is Commissioner Roberts would be for the full commission to adopt our approved bylaws.
Now, I, Commissioner Evans, second that motion.
And we can have discussion, Madam Chair, but I did want to note that we had a few hands raised
Okay.
prior to the beginning or the commencement of this agenda item. Members Warson, Harris, Ramirez, and Evans had all joined the meeting, and they did have their hands raised. I don't know if it was to let us know they had shown up, but those were the hands that were raised.
Okay. So you want to call the question?
We have another hand raised. Taylor, did you want to have the discussion with the members whose hands are raised first?
Yeah. Yes.
That would be Member Arton, then Harris. Oh, Harris left the meeting? He may have had connectivity issues. Ramirez, Evans, and now Taylor.
Okay.
I don't have any questions. Sorry. It may have been when I came in.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay.
same for me, Ramirez.
Member Evans and then Member Taylor.
I just want to compliment the committee for an outstanding job. I also have a question under raised hand. If it's showing raised hand, is the hand raised or is it to raise the hand? Under participation?
When you hit raised hand, you should actually see a little hand that raises next to your name. And then Member Taylor was next.
Yes, I want to thank the committee for doing such an outstanding job. I just wanted to say that there was a lot of great work that went into this. And there was one area that I just had one question regarding, and that is just in case there's a situation, let's say we had a situation with somebody with a Cherokee Native American background, and we had someone part of our commission that could answer questions regarding cultural sensitivity issues, cultural competence, inclusion issues with the Cherokee member. Does that mean that after 3 minutes, that person could not give more valuable information as a potential expert in that topic or that background? And I'm just always concerned because sometimes I've gone into rooms even dealing with mental health as a licensed mental health provider. People are talking about mental health, but they might ask questions regarding suicide and don't understand some of the things that might go into play. So I just wanted to clarify that 3-minute rule. And does that mean that no one could ask any clarification or answer any clarification questions after the 3-minute expires?
Could I clarify the intent?
Sure.
Certainly, I mean, the intent when we talked about rules of order was if we're just, what we wanted to do was to give everybody in the discussion period, like now, the opportunity to speak. And so that we wanted, if we have 33 members, 31 members, and if every one of them spoke for 3 minutes, we'd be at 93 minutes right there. So the idea was to just make sure everybody had the opportunity to have a conversation, part of the conversation before we went back around. Now, if you're giving an expert testimony or an expert opinion, and somebody needs clarification on a particular item, the chair has all the latitude in the world to allow that. It's just also the chair has the opportunity of saying, no, we've done this, you know, because lots of times people tend to get very redundant in their questions, and that also gives the chair the opportunity to say, okay, we've talked about this, let's move on, and give somebody else the opportunity to speak.
Perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we had Member Desert also with her raised hand.
Afternoon, I have a question on Article 4 under the meetings, calling out Section B, that one commissioner, one vote, no proxies or absenteeist voting. However, the DA or the sheriff may submit a designee. I just want to flag that's making a different rule of process for law enforcement than other members of the commission, and wanted to make sure we were aware that these revisions to the bylaws anticipate that.
Can I clarify the discussion on that too?
Absolutely.
We had a fairly significant conversation about that, and it basically boiled down to the fact that we have elected those individuals to do a particular function, and if they are in the process of doing that function that we elect them to, we wanted to make sure that we were still able to process their voice and have their appointed official, whom we'd have to acknowledge that they have the confidence of the appointer. But I know, for instance, if district attorney needs to go to court and those aren't things that can be changed easily, then we wanted to have the opportunity to make sure that they're represented.
Thank you so much for that explanation, Commissioner Roberts. I hear that and just wanted to call to everyone that, you know, I wanted just to draw attention that we're making an exception for 2 members and make sure we're aware of that. Thank you.
Yeah,
And Member Desert?
That was deeply discussed.
And Member Desert, part of it was also to add on to Member Roberts about the discussion. The resolution establishing the commission specifically calls out that the district attorney or the sheriff, by virtue of the office, hold a seat. But it also, in that resolution, authorizes designees to serve on their behalf. This establishes the process for which to provide for those designees.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Oh, I would call the question if at all possible.
I don't believe we had any further hands.
Any further questions? Okay. All right.
Oh, it's Member Evans. Is that you?
This is Commissioner Watson.
Oh, Watson.
I just want some clarification on one section D on page 2 under vacancy. In number 3, it says removal at the pleasure of appointing or nominating authority. The appointing authority is the Board of Supervisors, and the nominating authority is whom?
I can clarify that too. We have different kinds of members. We have the members that are appointed by, that are specifically, I mean, we have the ex officio members, the sheriff and the district attorney. We have the representatives from the 7 organizations, and we have the 7 appointees from the commission itself. And then we have the 15 members that are appointed by supervisors. So the intent of that section is that when we notify the incumbent, the person who has now basically been absent too much, we also need to notify the appropriate person or organization or group or whatever that actually put forward that that nomination, so that they know that there is a vacancy now.
Okay, so the removal is based upon specific behavior or actions or lack of actions?
Specifically absences.
Absence. Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
I don't believe there are any more hands raised.
Okay, I think it would be, would it be appropriate based on Commissioner Roberts' description of the appointment, that there's some sort of a footnote when you talk about nomination, just a little asterisk and a footnote that kind of describes how people got to the commission based on the description that Commissioner Roberts raised. I think that would be important, just as a reference point.
There are sections in the bylaws which define how we appoint people.
Okay.
They're not in these markups because we didn't make any changes in those.
Okay, okay. So reference article, whatever article that is, so people sort of know. Because it is kind of confusing how we all got here at times.
It can be. So I would change my motion that we make a reference to the appointment process in the where we make the where we make the notifications to about a vacancy, and I would continue my motion and call the question. And I'm Commissioner Roberts.
You can make the motion, but I don't think you can call for question as well. Are we using the new, was it Risberg's laws?
No, I was pushing that. I'm sorry. I'll back on calling the question.
Okay, I will second your motion. Okay.
We get clarity on what that motion was. We have one motion to approve the final bylaws. Is this
It's an amended motion.
And that is to change the language on the vacancy section D3 to state what?
What we want to do is reference the area where we talk about appointments and how they are. Vacancies to be filled by or per article. I don't have it immediately in front of me.
Right.
But, I think it's Article 2.
We're looking it up real quick.
Yeah.
So Article 2 talks about membership and the terms of office. There were no changes to that language other than to cross-reference numbers and letters for accuracy. But we
I do have it in front of me. I'm sorry.
We do have under that all the different seats and who and whether there's how they're appointed and by whom.
So Chair Nash asked that that we add to where we talk about so basically at the end of section D, where we talk about the second paragraph of 5. Okay. She'd like to say new commission members will be appointed per process or per Article 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yes.
New commission members.
Or vacancy shall be filled.
Okay.
Per article.
Just
something. Right.
Article 2.
Real simple.
Just to clarify a little.
So right now we say vacancy shall be filled by the applicable nominating authority specified in Article 2, Section A. It's just it's a paragraph below.
There. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's already there.
Okay.
It's already there.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it looks like it may have been. It looks like it was previously separately enumerated, and we pushed it. So with the strikeout, it may have been easy to miss, but that is part of it.
Perfect.
In that case, I go back to my original motion.
Right.
Withdraw the amendment.
To accept the.
Right. Right. Okay.
And then member Corey had his hand raised.
I lowered it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
No, I don't believe there are any other hands raised.
Great. So, okay. Can we call for the vote?
Call for the vote. We'll start with the motion is to approve the proposed final bylaws, which will be then submitted to the Board of Supervisors for approval. Part of that does inherently include dropping in any adopted duties and responsibilities into that one area where noted. I just wanted to, I know that was part of the presentation. I just wanted to remind everybody. Angel Ortiz?
Yes.
Angela Elliott Santos?
Aye.
Austin Jones? Bill Gore? Kara Desert?
Aye.
Daphne Watson?
Aye.
Eleanor Evans?
Aye.
Elena Perez? Ellen Nash?
Aye.
Enrique Morones? Enrique Morones? Estela de los Rios?
Yes.
George Corey?
Yes.
Gina Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Griselda Ramirez?
Yes.
Gwen Sanders?
Yes.
Kate Chasen?
Yes.
Kate Clark? Kenya Taylor?
Yes.
Maya Alfonso? Nicole Murray Ramirez? Norma Chavez Peterson?
Yes.
Pedro Anaya?
Yes.
Rashid Essa?
Yes.
Ryan Garcia?
Yes.
Samuel Choi? Shane Harris? Summer Steffen? Summer Steffen? Taha Hassan?
Yes.
Tammy Gillies? Vince Catula?
Yes.
Warsan Arton?
Aye.
This is Enrique Morones. I'm also a yes.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Mr. Morones. Was there anybody else whose name was called but wasn't able to chime in quick enough? I think we captured everybody who we thought was present. Shane Harris. Shane Harris? Summer Steffen? That motion passes unanimously.
Great. Great. Thank you so much, subcommittee, for all that hard work and updating the bylaws. We really appreciate your work and your time and dedication to that particular area. Now that puts us on a much better footing as a commission. And thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Madam
much.
Chair,
Okay.
Summer Steffen does
Yes.
have her hand raised. We may have missed her in the roll call for the vote.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I wanted, is to add my vote of yes. My technology wasn't as quick these days as I wanted. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been recorded. Thank you.
Thanks, District Attorney Summer.
Thank you.
Great. Let's move on to the next agenda item.
The next
Duties and responsibilities. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. For that item, we will have Andrew Strong present, and I will pull up the slide also with the listed recommended duties and responsibilities.
All right, so we had our second meeting yesterday for the duties and responsibilities. We had a good meeting. It was relatively quick of our 8-person subcommittee. And so the commission reviewed other human relations commissions' duties and responsibilities, in addition to the former San Diego County Commission's duties and responsibilities. And then we came up with the list that you see in front of you. And I believe everybody has already seen the suggested duties and responsibilities, but there are two, let me put them back up. But there are two really substantive changes to the duties and responsibilities since you've seen them last. So the third dot point that you see right there where it says seek out, listen to, and engage community concerns regarding human relations, we tweaked that. It used to just say listen to community concerns, but we added seek out and engage. And then we also added the last dot point at the bottom where it says advise the Office of Equity and Racial Justice on all matters of equity and racial justice throughout the region. So those are the two substantive changes to what you have seen previously. So for discussion today is whether we want to take some time to review these until next meeting and then vote to adopt them, or if you have some changes or recommendations, or if you want to move to add these to the bylaws and approve them today. So for discussion.
Commissioner Roberts would like to move that these duties and responsibilities be added to the bylaws as written.
Oh.
Commissioner
I second
Evans,
it.
seconds.
Oh.
This is Commissioner Watson. I'd just like to have a little bit more clarification in what seeking out means, and why that would be deleted. Because one of the things I think strongly is that having the ability to invite community to share their concerns or have some input to the commission about their particular issues. I know there are various groups in the community that would love to have a voice about challenges or experiences that they would like to share with us. There's the Hate Crime Commission. There's various commissions throughout our community, and there are also community groups of various ethnicities that have concerns, voices, and would like to have that ability to share them. It'd be great to have somebody invite individuals to do a presentation to the commission at some point, if that could keep us informed and also understanding what the heartbeat of the community is. So yeah. I really think it's important that the community voice have a strong placehold in our ability to seek information and hear them. And sometimes it's listening, sometimes it's seeking. It determines what sometimes the challenges are.
Can I clarify the comment, the discussion that happened when we added that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so as Andrew said, that originally the suggested duty and responsibility just said listen to community concerns regarding human relations, and we as a subcommittee chose to add seek out so we can do what you're talking about, go out and find issues that we want people to talk about, listen to them, and engage those community concerns regarding human relations. So the idea was exactly what you are espousing in your comment, that we would be able to reach out and address community concerns from different ethnic, I'm just going to say different groups, because we don't really need to specify any particular definition. Does that answer your question?
I thought Andrew spoke of deleting seeking out. So
no, we added it. We added that.
Because seeking out could also be promoting positive engagements in the communities, what people are doing well, not just what is not being done. So I don't want it to be just a negative thing. It could be where people are doing some exceptional work and coming together and bonding as a community and human relations. That would be wonderful to promote.
We talked about that extensively, in terms of we should approach issues from the positive as opposed to the negative. So we're very mindful of staying positive and being positive, and in that way embracing every group, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Hit the wrong button.
Any more comments?
I'm sorry, member Arton had her hand raised before that motion started.
Sorry.
Yes, yeah, really quick. what is it called? As a member of the subcommittee, I agree with the discussion around seeking out. But in addition to that, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think something that we are missing from the duties and responsibilities is educating ourselves. Like there's some stuff, there are a few bullet points that talk about, us educating the community, engaging the community, doing workshops. But I personally, as a member of this commission, would also at one point like to learn more about San Diego County and what different groups within San Diego County, especially minority groups, what issues they face, what is it called, what their experience is like, what are some types of discriminations and inequities that exist in our region. That way we all have a better idea of what are some of the inequities and inequalities and discrimination, et cetera, that exist in the community that we're trying to serve.
Commissioner Evans speaking. From my perspective, I would have thought that bullet number 6 down would have addressed that.
I would agree.
Engage in research and education for the purpose of lessening prejudice, including the preparation and dissemination of information on understanding diverse groups within San Diego County.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly wouldn't preclude us as commission members educating ourselves.
Right, we should take on that responsibility as well. It's not us or information going out, it's information coming in. That's how you have true communication.
Commissioner Warsaw, this is Chair Nash, would number 6 address the concern you just raised, engage in research and education?
What is it called? To me, when I read including preparation and dissemination of information on understanding diverse groups, almost like we're giving out that information, not necessarily like receiving it. I don't know, like I would like, maybe we can add something about listening to the community and hearing from them and getting information from the community as well as to what their experiences are like. Maybe that's part of the research portion, but I personally would like it to be a little bit more specific.
Okay, again, then could we look at bullet number 3, seek out, listen to, and engage community concerns regarding human relations? Would you want to like maybe combine 3 and 6 for greater clarity from your perspective?
Seek out, listen, engage.
Yeah, Eleanor, that's a good point. Can we maybe put together those two together? Can we put those two together somehow?
Mm-hmm. Seek out, listen.
I hate to do that because.
Seek out, listen, engage. And engage in research and education.
Member Corey has a hand raised.
No, just combine them. Don't change the language. Seek out, listen to, engage community concerns regarding human relations. Then go to 6, engage in research and education for the purpose of lessening prejudice, including the preparation and dissemination of information on understanding diverse groups within San Diego County. If we change the language, then we're going in a different direction. Just 3 and 6, combine them. 3 first, 6 next.
This is Commissioner Khoury. I believe we should keep them separated. Combining them may lessen the importance of each on its own. I think they are very important bullets to focus on individually, and if you combine them, you may dilute the intent behind them.
Okay, well, if my screen is gone for some reason. Can you hear me? Then have bullet 3 become bullet 5, and then have 6. So they're separate, but at the same time, a reader can go from one to the other without having to subconsciously go back. I think that's what Commissioner Warson is asking.
I wouldn't have an issue as long as they stayed individually addressed, but I don't care about the order per se. That would be my comment.
Maybe changing the order would be more viable.
Mr.
Any
Schwartz
other comments?
share his screen so that we can try and make that change so that it's visible to all members.
So basically, oh, you already changed it. Perfect. I amend my motion to include the new change.
Does the second accept that amendment?
If I'm
Member
the
Evans was
second,
I
yes.
second it.
Right.
These proposed duties and responsibilities then would be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors for approval and also inserted into the bylaws. Right, which also go to the Board of Supervisors. So these will be forwarded with the recommendation. We can take the roll call whenever you're ready, Madam Chair.
Ready for the roll call?
On the motion to approve the duties and responsibilities with the change noted of moving the one dot point to the third dot point to immediately precede the sixth dot point. Angel Ortiz?
Yes.
Angela Elliott Santos?
Oh, aye.
Austin Jones? Bill Gore? Kara Desert?
Aye.
Daphne Watson?
Aye.
Eleanor Evans?
Yes.
Elena Perez? Ellen Nash?
Yes.
Enrique Morones? Enrique Morones? Estela de los Rios?
Yes.
George Corey?
Yes.
Gina Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Griselda Ramirez?
Yes.
Gwen Sanders?
Aye.
Kate Chasen?
Yes.
Kate Clark?
Yes.
Did Kate Clark just speak up?
Yes.
Kenya Taylor?
Aye.
Maya Alfonso? Nicole Murray Ramirez? Norma Chavez Peterson?
Yes.
Pedro Anaya?
Yes.
Rashid Essa?
Yes.
Ryan Garcia?
Yes.
Samuel Choi? Shane
Did you
Harris?
just email it to me? Yes. Yes.
Samuel Choi?
Yes, for Samuel Troy.
Shane Harris? Summer Stefan?
Yes.
Taha Hassan?
Yes.
Tammy Gillies? Vince Catula?
Yes.
Warsan Arton?
Yes.
That vote passes with a unanimous vote.
Wonderful. Great. Great.
There are no further items on the agenda, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I see a hand raised.
Yes.
Member Roberts?
Commissioner Roberts, I'd like to ask the county staff to prepare a compilation of existing absences for everybody, just so we can kind of keep that in the forefront and see what's going on.
We can prepare that, and we will notify the commission as soon as the bylaws and the duties and responsibilities are approved by the Board of Supervisors.
Great. Great. Okay. Want to go to future agenda items?
I have a question before you move on.
Mm-hmm.
Would attendance or absences be noted after the adoption or from the point of being appointed to the commission? When would this become effective in terms of adoption of attendance? Once the bylaws are adopted, and then moving forward? So everyone starts off at 0? Or are we gonna go?
Generally, once the board approves the bylaws, they become the governing bylaws, and that's when they become effective for all purposes of matters related, such as all the procedural matters. I see Member Roberts' hand also
So
up.
everyone would be at 0?
No, actually, I don't believe that would be the case because our interim bylaws had absence provisions too. So we really ought to be compiling them from the beginning of the year or the beginning of our meetings. So.
Yes, and those interim bylaws, because they were approved by the board as by the commission as interim, and they governed the rules and procedures. However, for purposes of removal, and were not approved by the Board of Supervisors at that time. And so to lose a seat due to it would need to require that type of effect. You would need board approval. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my mask. You'd want your bylaws approved by the Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
Okay,
So we start from square one.
Yes, but we can certainly bring forward the attendance thus far, and that way we could, if there are areas of individuals we may want to let inform that they have absences.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would be the intent of my request.
I agree, definitely. Okay. All right. Are we going to talk about item 7, future agenda items?
We've listed, what we've done is kept the running agenda items that we had for future agendas coming up. We still had the presentation of current county initiatives regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion on a future agenda. Importantly, the adoption of the 2021 regular meeting calendar will be coming before you either the next meeting or in December for approval. The commission's developing goals and strategic planning is on a future agenda, as is the presentation on increasing access to county contracting, which will be a purchasing and contracting presentation. The other items, obviously, that is the development of the mission statement for the Office of Equity and Racial Justice. And when we have the consultant ready to present to you and introduce to you, we're hoping we can introduce them at the next meeting and then set out the schedule for getting that work done.
Okay.
So we can add the consultant mission statement piece.
Okay.
This is Commissioner Watson. I know we have a lot of business work that we need to get to and get completed, but I am concerned that we get so consumed with business that we miss the community and hearing that community voice. I think there should be a standing item on our agenda or at our meetings to either seek out, to listen to, or to gather information in reference to our mission and our purpose. There are a lot of issues in the communities that would be important that are brought to a place that can be shared with others. There are community groups. There are lots of challenges going on that we need to give some light to. So I appreciate all of the work we have to do, and we had to have a starting place and have a structure. I understand that. But I don't want us to not have community voice as a very strong piece to our conversations here. We have usually 2 hours together, and a lot of times we are just doing the matter of fact business, but the community voice has to become integrated into our conversations as well.
Commissioner Evans speaking. I have a question. How would that be different from public comments? And which groups would have priority in terms of being able to speak each time?
My opinion, and this is just my thinking, in the public comment section, there's only about maybe a minute or so, or 2 minutes that individuals can share. There are concerns and issues related to community issues, reference to human relations, cultures, groups, that we should have a spotlight on. And that would really entail a presentation from them. And I think about the Hate Crimes Commission. I think it would be important for us to hear from them
Okay,
about what is going on. I mean, like we've known that there's been Muslims that have been targeted and others. I think that would be an important conversation to have.
Well, they have the privilege of being able to ask to do a presentation.
I don't know that many people know that much about us or what our process is for getting conversations in. And I going back to our duties and responsibilities of seeking out people, I think there has to be that placeholder.
Again, it goes back to public comment and just being able to do presentations. I don't think we need to go, as a committee, I don't think we need to go above and beyond. All of us are supposed to be representing people within those groups and people without,
this is not agenda.
on the outside of those groups.
Right.
Okay.
I think we need to, this one is sort of going off topic. I did see some hands raised though, from Commissioner Roberts and Commissioner Enrique. So let's take those comments. Remember, we're 3 minutes, limited to 3 minutes. Commissioner Roberts.
I'd like to suggest that as part of our future agenda items, that possibly we put a 5-minute presentation or something in that a commissioner can go out and seek a group to come and speak to us about opportunities in that community. And so that way, I think the best way to do that would be just to have an agenda item in each meeting, which says for 5 or 10 minutes, whatever we choose as a length of time, that Commissioner Watson could go out and find a group that she thinks needs to have a presentation to us. And that way we can actually do it as part of the agenda, and we can actually engage in a little dialogue with them, as opposed to a public comment where we basically just sit and smile and go, thank you, our brains are saying thank you for speaking. So that would be my suggestion, and no motion involved at this point in time, but it's just something stuck in your minds to add that as an agenda item in each meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Manones, and then I see Commissioner Norma Peters-Chavez.
Yes, thank you. My phone, I was on another call for a moment there, so I couldn't participate, but I've been on the whole time. And I just want to clarify something. It's not the San Diego Hate Commission. We have a new name. It's called the I serve on it. It's called the San Diego Anti-Hate Commission. And then the other thing, I think that 3-minute rule is fantastic, but it's kind of negated if the persons can continue to come on every few minutes and make another comment. So I think we should have not only a 3-minute rule, but also a limit on how many times you can be chiming in, within reason. That's just my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Chavez?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure.
Also, I just wanted to suggest, I appreciate Commissioner Watson's suggestion about how do we create space to solicit and listen to different communities. And I think that's important. The way I'm thinking about it is we're like building blocks. We're still building out like the structure of the commission. We also are going to do some strategic planning. And I mean, those are the things that are not the funnest part of the work, but it's foundational. And I actually think that once we go through that process, I love the idea. One suggestion that I have once we go through some of the other steps is that we can actually do like a calendar ahead of time. Obviously, we're going to have an Office of Equity where we can be very intentional about planning ahead. So for example, this meeting, we're going to have a focus on the LGBT community, and there's some staff work that goes in working with the commissioners to do a thorough presentation. I would call it, at my own board, in my organization, we have a moment, we call it mission focus. And so we can have a standing mission focus moment in our commission meetings, but we have to plan with enough time. So it's not just, this and that, and where we can think about what are all the different communities we want to be intentional about learning and listening from. So we identify those issues, and we should be working once the Office of Equity and Inclusion is up and running. and we do our planning, let's schedule that for the whole year. So we're thinking, let's hear from the undocumented immigrant community. Let's hear from the immigrant community. Let's hear from the LGBT, and we can plan it. So I love the idea. I don't think we need to rush to do anything now. I think that that could be a part of the process once we continue the building blocks of our planning.
Great idea. Great idea. I also want to give thanks to the county staff and Pedro for the election statement that we worked on and we put out. And I say that I mean to thank those who worked on it. However, also it was sort of a way of announcing who we are. I received calls from people. Is this the new commission, or who are you? And it just reminds me of, at some point we need to have an official something an official. And I love celebrations, so you got somebody who loves to celebrate people, but we need to have some sort of a celebration about who we are to announce officially to the San Diego County community. I think that would be another way also to draw attention to some of the issues that you all are raising around the issue-driven issues, that people know who we are. So at some point, we do need to plan some sort of a special celebration about the revitalization and the reimagining of this this commission to our community. We can't stay hidden too long. People want to hide out too long. Any more comments?
Earlier we had Kenya Taylor's hand up. I don't know if it looks like it's removed. Eleanor Evans and Jean.
Yes, I removed my hand. It's already been said. Thank you.
Okay. Eleanor, Commissioner Evans, Norma Chavez. I think all right. I think we're good. Anything else? Are we ready to adjourn?
On your word, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Oh, no.
That would be my motion.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Great meeting, guys. Thank you so much.
Well
we're
done,
on to something great. Have a great day.
Thank you to the subcommittees that did all that great work. Thank you.
Oh my God, yes. Amazing. Take care.
Thank you all.